Everybody called him Big Dan, and big he was, not just in size, but in spirit. My brother Danny Robbins was sweet and funny and generous in everything he did. He lived 55 years, which is kind of surprising because he almost didn't live at all. He was born in Rockland, Maine in 1958, a preemie, born in only 7 months. He struggled to get by, but he did, and he grew on to be a really big kid, and as you'll see from this photo, a pretty normal kid, normal in every way. We lived in Boston for a while, then we moved to Trenton, Maine, where Danny lived for the rest of his life on the Oak Point Road. We grew up in a funny house, a stucco house. This house, 2 stories, didn't have interior heating at the time, but we loved it. He loved the town, too. The cheese house. The roller rink. God, he spent so much time at the roller rink. The lobster pound. We ate so much lobster. We ice skated on the airport in the winter. We drove on the runway in the summer. This is the international terminal, is all you can tell. And then we spent a lot of time just drinking over at Thompson's Island. Danny loved the seasons, particularly anything to do with Halloween. He loved the snow, and I always told him that that made him weird. He told me, shut up. He would go out in the coldest days, and he particularly liked the time around Christmas. A greater love was the fire department. He loved working at the volunteer fire department. He was a chief for a while. He loved just being with people and helping with people. He saw people in some awful wrecks. He helped pull people out of fires. He did everything he could for these people, and I was so appreciative when the town honored him just after he passed away. Many may not know it, but Danny was actually married 3 times. But the love of his life was Sherry. You'll see her in this wedding photograph. They were married for 19 years. They loved each other so, so deeply. They went everywhere together. I don't think they've spent much time at all or any time apart. At night, you see them down there on the Oak Point Road. And he loved his family. He was with them all the time, especially his son, Little Dan, who's really not so little anymore. He just loved him to death, and he always worried about his welfare and set aside things to help him. Loved my mom, too. Spent a lot of time with her. He's, kind of heavy because of her great cooking. I think one goes with the other there. He just loved her because of who he was. He spent all this time with family, all up and down the Oak Point Road, especially in lobster festivals. I think he was happy when I came home in the summer because we always had lobster. And he always tell me one more time how to open them the right way, even though I've been doing them for almost 60 years. He loved the Oak Point Road, spending time there, staying there, playing with the kids, just being. He didn't ask for much from life. He just liked being in Maine. And he loved being with the children, and was through the end. He lived a good life. People loved him deeply.